I don't know. Are we ready?
3, 2, 1.
We're back. I'm mega excited about this. Actually, after seeing the pictures.
Yeah.
Go on. Tell us all about it. So
Right.
model and all that.
Well,
sort of
it's Graham.
Shall we?
Yes, put it on the. Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's what it's for.
So you can't see us.
That's probably a bonus, isn't it? Really? There we go.
All right. So this is the T16.
T16.
T16,
right.
and T stands for Trim. Graham Trim. Graham Trim is the designer of a number of project guns over the years, and the Paradigm was one that he was involved with Webley. If you remember that. Yeah.
I was handling a Paradigm about 2 months ago. I was trying to buy it.
Right.
We went down to the Webley warehouse and everything. I want to, and I was like, "What's that over there?" And he says, "Oh, it's a Paradigm." And I was like, "Oh my god, I want it!"
It's gun that never was.
It was lovely and really nice,
Very
actually.
Good but it didn't go anywhere,
No.
and for production reasons, I think more than anything else. But it was a finished gun, and it's the same designer. And Graham was given a commission by James Edmondson, to do a recoilless spring gun. And James, I think, had owned the Park Rifle Company. James owned BSA, Webley. Sterling, of course, because he owned Sterling when it was at Dagenham when it made the machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got that. He's a history lesson, and he's got all those companies behind him. And so he owned Park, I think, for some period. So he went down and spoke to Graham.
The rifle with the bicycle chain.
That's right.
Yeah, I
and he
remember
spoke
that.
to him about that and said, and I sort of said, recoilless spring gun is what you need to go, because there's so many air guns, there's so many different segments, and everybody's trying to do the same thing and copy each other. Look at the bullpup thing, everybody's copying each other or trying to develop the same gun. Go into something else. It's risky, but the numbers are probably enough for you. And so he went to Graham, and Graham got on with his gun. And speaking to Graham about it in the Wing Hua on Saturday, Chinese New Year, you see, he basically put 6,500 hours into this gun, got halfway through the project and realised it wasn't going to work. And he said to his partner, "It's not working, I'm going to quit." And she said to him, "So what else you got to do?" And he went, "Fair point," and carried on. Yeah. And he had a revolutionary breakthrough and he said breakdown, but a revolutionary breakthrough. Maybe he got close to that. Breakthrough on the piston design. He needed to do something with the piston design to make it work. So what you have here is an opposed piston spring gun. So you have two pistons flying into each other, but on a single gas ram going that way. So there's a single gas ram. I'm not going to tell you how that works because I'm not actually too sure myself, but it's got a single gas ram in the back piston. And it feeds through to the front piston, and they meet in the middle at the transfer port, and equal and opposite forces cancel each other out, and you have a recoilless spring gun. It's very low pressure gas ram, which is important because gas rams, a reliability is you've got something to leak. So this is running, I think he said about 70 bar of compression in the ram.
Yeah, that's quite low.
Yeah, so you've got very low compression, and these pistons are short stroke, flying fast. This is producing 12 foot-pounds, and there is an FAC project as well to make it high power as well. Side lever cocking, because we have the cocking mechanism underneath for the second piston. So you can pick it up. Yeah.
Obviously, obviously, people have gone to the show, and they're going to want to sort of.
Yeah, well, it's been handled quite a lot. With thousands of people handled this over.
Oh, you can see all this, guys. It's really. All sorts of bits. Like, go on, tell me. Show me how it works. Tell me how it works.
Right. So there we go. So we got it's about £9, by the way. It's not heavy.
No, I didn't feel that heavy.
Side cocking lever, which is carbon fibre, which keeps the weight of this thing. That's why it's so big, because it keeps the weight of the. A lot of these guns which have got side levers, the lever adds a sort of twist to it. Mm-hmm. It hasn't got any of that, and you simply cock it back, and that's the cocking stroke. There's a safety catch on here which you can apply. The production one will have an anti-bear trap. Then you open the chamber.
Okay.
Pop your pellet in. Yep. Close it down, and you're ready to go.
Right.
And that's it. And if you have come across whiskers,
and this pops out the back to say that it's.
That pops out a load indicator on the back, and when you fire the rifle, and I will fire this one because I'm allowed to. The piston goes forward, and the gun doesn't move. Go on.
Right, okay. So there's no catch, it just comes out.
Comes out, pull it all the way down. That's it.
It's about what, £25, £30 cocking effort? It's not an awful lot.
Not a lot, no. Lighter than I'd probably say quite a lot of spring gun.
That's actually quite easy, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say it's firepower sport levels, but it is.
No, but it's a 12-foot pound gun.
Right. Okay, so obviously when you've got that open...
then you open the chamber, pull it back.
All that, pellet in,
close it down. This design is because twin pistons, if they fire with the breech open, you don't have a gun anymore. So it's designed to block the loading port, so it has to be in the closed position.
Okay, and when you say this will have an anti-bear trapping, so if I pull the trigger on this now with it open...
It would fire, that's why we've got the safety catch on that to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah? But the production one has a rocker on the back here, so you push that down and then you can tip it forward. Okay. So it locks onto the catch, so the catch cannot go forward.
Right, close it up.
Yeah. Safety catch up to fire.
Up to fire.
And then you're off.
Okay. Yeah, there's very little there, is there?
Nothing.
There's just... Well, you know you fired it.
But this is balanced for a pellet, so with a pellet in you get nothing. We did an...
It's going to be better than that.
Yeah, because if you put a pellet in, if you want to shoot your workshop, you will get no movement. You put a cup of water on there, and it barely rippled. So what we're saying is you've got a spring gun that is match accurate and capable of taking on a PCP. So if you want to giant kill...
That's a bold statement, isn't it?
That's something, isn't it? But there's a couple of technical reasons why it should outshoot a PCP, because the way that the faster air gives you a better ballistic coefficient. So it should, because there's no hold problems which you get with a normal spring gun, where if you hold it differently it shoots to a different place, because you're absorbing recoil before the pellet leaves the barrel. So with an ordinary spring gun, you've got that movement, that initial movement, the pellet's still somewhere up there. You know, it hasn't even moved, because you've got the piston uncoiling and everything going on.
Yeah.
With this, because it's completely motionless, it actually moves less than a PCP on most of them, and so you've got that. So it should be quite an interesting gun to go and have a go at those PCP.
Walther barrel?
This one's got a Walther barrel. We haven't decided what we're going to do yet. We have two different. This is a prototype barrel, but actually no, I think this one's got a brass barrel, so that's a Harper barrel in it, this particular gun. So we have Harper technology for barrels.
You're doing this sort of micro rifling business?
Yes, we've got that in quite a few of the guns here have got that in.
Excellent.
But Graham also makes his own barrels, and there's another British company doing barrels, so we've got a choice of 3 British companies making barrels. And it's a British stock. I've mentioned, shout out, as they say, for Form Stocks, who did this. This is a pretty interesting thing. The original gun, prototype gun, had a carbon fibre stock which cracked in trials, and I didn't think it was good enough to take to the show. So we commissioned Form to do a sporter stock for it, and on Saturday morning, that's the Saturday before the show, I would send a picture of it on my phone, and it looked horrible. And I rang them up and said, I'm not happy to have that on the stand. So Saturday afternoon, they started on another stock, and it was delivered on Wednesday, and of course we set the show up on Thursday. So don't try that at home. You know, designing and making a stock from Saturday lunchtime, production stock, all the way through. Incredible, effort from Form Stock.
So I presume this might not be what we get.
Well, everything's a working prototype. I've got to say I love it. I think that's one of the nicest shapes I've seen.
I don't like the cheap piece.
Right.
But saying, everybody's different. Yes. I love a lot of that, and the pistol grip's really comfy. Yeah.
Well, it was supposed to be a sport, and originally it was supposed to be carbon fibre.
I really like that. I just think to me that looks a little bit old fashioned. Yeah. But who am I to say whether it's right or wrong? It's just that's what I feel. Okay, so specs wise, different calibers.
Yeah, 177, 22, 25, probably not 20, but everything around it. Yeah.
£9 weight, did you say?
£9 weight with that stock, and that's a laminate stock, so that's a heavier stock.
Yeah.
So probably if we did the carbon fibre stock as an option or a version, you're probably looking at just over £7 all that weight.
Moulded carbon fibre. When you say carbon fibre, what?
It's carbon fibre stock.
Okay.
There's a company making carbon fibre stocks, and there just wasn't time to do one after the prototype broke. Silencer on it at the moment to finish off the look. This was just done ready for the show to finish it off. The original prototype had a straight barrel, and I thought, no, we want to put something on there.
Right, okay.
It's really quiet, actually, without a silencer at all. It doesn't need a silencer because there's so little volume of air in there.
It's difficult to tell in here because obviously it's a small...
Yeah, it really echoed in here. I was quite surprised.
In fact, everybody can probably tell because they can hear our voices echo a little bit.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
You know, there's not enough sound dampening.
And of course, there's no pellet, so you've got that echoing back as well. Yeah.
Price?
Well, to be fixed. The target price is £1,400 with the basic stock.
Okay.
Maybe with a stock like that, it'll cost a bit more. We're still costing. We have costed it. It has been CAD drawn up, so everything's done. But we've got to get different quotes in from different suppliers.
Availability?
August probably.
August.
Yeah.
This August.
This August. Yeah, great. We'll be hearing this August.
Yeah. They got famous last words. Tony said this August 2018. By the way, it is at the moment.
Oh, damn! You ruined it.
Yeah, I should have just not said what. I should have said what year it was. I tell you what, I'll put that back in before it falls over. Or I drop it.
So that's. I think.
I'm going to because we're obviously going to look at other stuff as well.
Yeah, we have. And I think about the interesting thing is that it's very easy for a company to make what they like. And you get people on the stand, and also I've been doing I've been doing this for 20 odd years. You go on these stands, and people go, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. Which one should I buy? And you really, at that point, the design department's got it wrong because you don't want them to pick from 5 of your guns. You want them to pick one of your guns, perhaps against a competitor who's out across the other side of the hall.
Or they can't make their mind up and they have to buy all of them.
Yeah, why do you make 4 guns for them to choose from? You want them to choose from your gun against a competitor because that will give you a bigger slice of the sales pie.
Mm-hmm.
So if they'd have come on the stand and looked at the guns that we've shown and gone, I can't make my mind up, that would have been the wrong thing for us. But actually what happened was they looked at, a different type of person looked at this and said, this is the gun of the show, this is the most fantastic thing I've seen. And off they went. And the next guy came on, didn't even look at it. Went to the next one and said, this is the most fantastic gun I've ever seen. And I thought, well, that's nice, because we have got 3 different angles of attack into this market, and that's just one of them. I love it, to be honest. I think it's really good.
I tell you what, do you know what, when I saw the photographs, I thought it looked a little bit fussy, but it's actually really grown on me.
Yeah.
If you're into motorbikes, it's like a BMW, innit?
Yeah.
It looks a bit odd, but actually you start to sort of go, oh, I quite like that uniqueness of it. It looks very different. I like that. I really like that. I think that's going to be a really interesting rifle.
You'll be very happy owners with that. I think it's just something unique and quirky. Because it's completely British. You've got a British stock manufacturer, British barrel, British engineer.
So basically, are you sort of working on who's going to stock these? Are retailers approaching you, or what's that?
Actually, so far, yes. There's not much point in me going and ringing around and saying, "Would you want to stock this one?" I haven't got anything to stock. So I've probably got halfway through the portfolio I already need.
Right.
By people approaching me.
Okay. Good.
It's not going to be in every shop because there's very little point.
So there's not really much point. Obviously, this is coming out end of February. There's not really much point in people pestering the crap.
No, they can place an order, or they can ring their local friendly dealer, the one which they trust. Carl at Solware.
Yeah, there's lots of
City Air Weapons.
Yeah.
These are people who already expressed an interest in stocking this rifle, and they will stock it come what may. So you can go and get your name on the list, because obviously there might be a demand for a low volume production. And you might not get one.
I'm guessing this is not. We're not going to be talking. They're not going to be like podding peas. These, are they?
Absolutely not. No, they'll be rare. They're not going to be a huge amount of this. This is not mass production. This is a niche company making good quality. I mean, the engineers at Box and Edmondson making this. They are just everything else.
Right. Let's have a look at another one, because obviously we don't want this episode to last for 3 hours, really. Well, I don't mind, to be honest with you, but as long as it's interesting, well, yeah, that's what I've been waiting for.
So this is the gun that was being. What are we going to do while we wait for that? Well, why don't you go and make one of those and drag the
Do you know what?
left?
I tell you what, I've seen pictures of it, but nothing has prepared me for the beautiful finish.
Yeah.
It's absolute. Do you know what? It's beautifully done.
Yeah, it was made at Cambridge Precision, this rifle, and they really are some phenomenal engineers.
That is absolutely. They're just the finish on the components alone. That's just sexy. Right. Okay.
I have 2 of those. This one is. There was actually a handful of prototypes made. This one is was supposedly the finished product, but it's actually going back into redesign, because we found that the half a piston from that gun fits into this. And it increases the power by about 20%. So
right.
we're
Okay.
going
So you're still on the road of
so
discovery.
We was finished, but we were a little bit disappointed in the power. This one has a larger cylinder to the earlier prototype, which I have here, which has the same cylinder. In fact, this one was done in the style of the original. So the original tube diameter. The original gun did about 7 foot-pounds on the good day. So we got that one up to about, I suppose that one went up to about 9.5. This one went up to about 10.5, 10 anyway, really, sort of foot-pounds. We wanted a real 11 foot-pounds to justify it, and we're going to get that. So we'll launch it with 11 foot-pounds. That was the earlier prototype, and you can see now you can't decide which one you want, can you?
I'm obviously the wrong customer because, like, if I came on your stand, I'm already sort of thinking, well, shit, I'm going to have to buy both of these. That's
very different. And
okay,
I think this is the gun. So for me, it's interesting because I sort of said, "Oh, why don't you do that?" and walked away. And when it came out and I saw it, which was quite a few months later, I saw it in development, sort of middle of the year, in Dave Brayford's shop because he was doing some power, he was trying to get the power up for them, and I happened to be going through, I had a cup of tea, and he showed it to me, and I just loved it. I thought it was really good. That was this one, and then they carried on and they got this one finished, and I thought, I don't know which one I like, I don't know which, and then I thought,
why have you changed the stock?
Because this was Gary Kane's take on it, and he was asked to make it a bit more modern so they could use a higher. Actually use a scope if you wanted to, and there's a dovetail on there. And he probably wouldn't.
Sacrilege.
Yeah, I know. And then went to open sights. That's a copy of a Mauser style open sight. And then later on, this gun, which didn't have a stock because it had several of these stocks, they went to form and said, okay, we want to go back to the original style because some of the feedback we're getting is that you've kind of ruined a classic, so we want it. So I don't think so. But they did a development of the original stock and put this on, and I like that too. I don't know.
Do you know what? Yeah. It's not ruined it. It's just it's a different take on it. But do you know what is I preferred the original.
Yeah.
I know that it's probably not going to be quite as good. Usability.
The thing about you can say with a company like this, which is small and niche, is it'd probably offer both. You know, it'll come with one, or you can opt for the other and keep trade going. The two British companies probably both want to do stocks for this. There's no reason why they couldn't be.
And what about the traditional blue finish? Because that would look awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan, is to do a traditional blue finish, and then these are in stainless steel. Either to take the blue finish and nickel plate it, so we have a nickel plate option or a blued steel option, or carry on with the stainless steel finish, which is what these have got in there. It comes down to cost management. If it's going to be so expensive that nobody's ever going to buy one, then we'll cut some costs in the material and do it that way. Yes,
it's all everything's.
Yeah, you can cock and fire it. Well, don't fire it.
No, I'm not firing it. And power wise,
so that one's doing about 10. This one's doing just over 9. I think that was the maximum I managed to get out of it. But there's a design project going on at the moment to get the revolutionary piston of that into there, and done by Graham, and Graham started on it. He texted me on the way up here today saying I'm starting on it.
I was going to say, so if it's 20% more than 10, that's 12.
Well, we've got to have a bit in spare. You've got to have a bit spare. You know, you can't just.
No, it's not going to be running at absolute max flat outness. Right. Okay. Well, I'm just. Can I order one now? I want to order one of those. I want to order one of those.
Just
that stock in black for myself. That is just. I shoot an improved Model D quite a bit.
And very nice, aren't they?
And sacrilegiously, I actually took out the twin springs and put a Titan spring in and everything, and got about 10 3/4 foot plate. It's a bit of a tooth rattler, to be honest with you. But I just love the old stuff.
The thing about the Model D is that I was reading somewhere that they stopped making it when production stopped. It got below 30,000 a year.
Right.
Because it wasn't worth making.
It wasn't worth making 30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Well, it was going to be 2 parts. Obviously we've been talking that much. I think it's going to have to be 3.
We'll do a little bit.
We've got another one. So I'll tell you what, we're going to call this 2.5 parts. So
or should we just stop and not do the?
Well, I just want to wipe the drool off me really for a couple of minutes. So I'll tell you what, we'll have another quick short break. I'm going to can I take this outside and shoot it?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, okay. We're not going to take the video out, so sorry, but I'm going to go and shoot this outside because I think these are absolutely awesome. I'm gushing a bit, aren't I? I don't normally gush, so it's embarrassing. But anyway, back in a couple of minutes. See you soon. Right, okay, can I shoot this one?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. We need to, what calibre is it?
Oh, it's still sunny as well.
Want me in the light? Right, we're back. Yeah, really enjoyed shooting. Really enjoyed shooting the Mark II. To be honest with you, it's absolutely. I can't wait for those. They're going to be fantastic. But we've got something else I can't wait for either. So tell us about the third.
We used to call this an Easter egg in the electronic part. In other words, it was a gun that we weren't sure we were going to do.
Shall we hold it? Let's hold it up for the viewers. Yeah. Wow, that's light.
So it's a pre-charged pneumatic. It's the Sterling pre-charged pneumatic. It's the H18. Steve Harper designed it.
H18,
and it was developed with Steve Harper and Pete Boxall together, two production engineers working together. We started this rifle at the planning meeting on the 12th of January.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why we perhaps weren't expecting it to be ready at the British Shooting Show on the 16th of February.
Mm-hmm.
But they worked through the night, they worked weekends, they collaborated, and they got two very prototype rifles ready for us to show. And it just shows the level of dedication and skill with those two people, that they can do something like that. But they weren't starting really clean, because Steve Harper had developed a rifle called the Harper Wolf rifle, back in the
I remember the Wolf.
Yeah. And he had
push button electric circular trigger as well.
That's right. Absolutely, you've seen it. Yeah. But they were very rare. They were made to order. I didn't see one for 10 years. I just happened to spot one in the shop, and I said, "What's that?" Oh, it's just. And then I spoke to Steve and said, "What's the Wolf?" And he said, "Oh, it's something I did." Have you got one? No. So I'm hoping to get one back. He made them. He sold them and stuff like that. So. When we were discussing doing a pre-charged pneumatic, Sterling did have a prototype, a development idea of a pre-charged pneumatic last year, but it was going nowhere. It was going to be too complicated to make, and it was canned. But there was an idea to do a more conventional pre-charge.
Mm-hmm.
But because both these people shoot firearms, they wanted to come at it from a proper firearms perspective rather than a historic airgun perspective. So everything was slimmed down. The rifle weighs 5.8 pounds. It does 70 shots per charge, and the two prototypes do roughly around 70 shots per charge. One's a 177, the other's 2.2. The shot count's not that much difference between the two. The valving in it's very interesting. Although it's based on an early gun from '94, the valving is really Steve's latest ideas on valve design, and uses a tiny little balanced micro valve in there, which seems to be super efficient and should be super reliable. The whole concept on this is reliability, serviceability. It's a probe design. I meant to ask BSA if it was okay, but we've used the BSA probe as commonality of probe, so you don't have to find yet another size. So it uses the probe.
Oh, okay, the charging probe.
Probe.
Yeah, sorry.
Keeps it simple.
I need to show you guys. There you go.
Yeah, so simple crossbar.
I've got my glasses on.
What they call a balanced probe, so you push it in and the air pressure stops it from popping.
Right, that's great.
10-shot repeater. This one hasn't got a magazine in. Single shot or magazine.
Yep.
Fed. It's bolt action. One of the most interesting things is this is electronics Harper electronic system. Harper's not electronic system. So this is electronically fired as well. So you don't have any cocking action because the bolt simply operates the magazine and loads the pellet. The switch on the back there, that's your on-off switch. The production one will be illuminated.
I don't know whether you can see this on the camera, but there's a little tiny switch there.
Again, remember it's a prototype, but the production one will have a illuminated switch that's been wired in, so that will take the illuminated switch whenever they arrive.
Up for on,
down for off. Again, that's a homage to the shotgun pedigree of Boxwood Emerson.
That's a really nice little placement. I like that. It's unobtrusive, but it's easy to get to. That's great. Okay.
Electronics. It's got I've been sort of saying optimistically, it's got a 2-year battery because all the electronics on this rifle are built into the butt.
Oh, okay.
So obviously, the history of electronics is you don't want them to get wet, so they're sealed in to the butt, and there is a large, because you've got room for it. The electronics are absolutely tiny, and most of what's in there is battery.
What kind of battery?
Well, at the moment, it's got a lithium in it.
Lithium poly?
Polylithium, yeah. We haven't decided what we're going to put in yet. We're open to suggestions. We did do a round-robin letter with cards which you could pick up off the stand, and that questionnaire is on the Sterling website at the moment, sterlingarmaments.com, and you can fill it in and tell us what you think. You know, be nice, be abusive. We don't care. I'm going
to ask these what seem like daft questions, but rechargeable. Or
you can put a rechargeable in there, or you can put it's got the charging socket in there if you wanted to, or you could take the battery out and put it on a charge.
So
almost any battery you could put in there, as long as there's room to put it in.
And how would you recharge it? You take
the butt pad off, take one screw out the butt pad, swivel it sideways, and take it out. Keeps it nice and simple.
So not really that much of a pain to do.
No. And the battery in there at the moment would last about 2 years. We're working on average usage, so it's going to be one of those ones that you don't really have to fuss with. The gun will give an audible beep when you need to recharge the battery.
Okay.
There's a sounder in there so that we can do that.
You're obviously mixing traditional with modern.
Yes, well,
the stock. Well, it's not quite a full Stutson, but that's one hell of a good-looking stock.
Yeah.
And I really like the cheek piece, and I'm not. Is this going to stay?
No,
this is interesting
modified.
because it's.
Again, some people said they liked it. I don't like the trigger position or shape. Some people did. I don't think most people didn't. So that will be one of the things that gets addressed. The trigger guard. I didn't have time to make a trigger guard, so they used one off a Boxwood shotgun. They may stay with that style because it has caught people's imagination, or it may be changed slightly.
It's funny because actually I sort of don't. I don't mind that at all. To me, the trigger blade looks a bit odd.
Yes,
but again, if it's a prototype, we've got to accept that. No. And 70 shots. It's quite a thin cylinder, that, isn't it?
Absolutely,
as well,
tiny little thing. It's quite amazing.
Do you know how many cc's is in that?
No, I don't. And of course, they haven't decided yet because they can extend and shorten on production.
Okay. That's really sweet, that. And when's this coming out?
Well, that one we are holding it back to get the opinion of people in. So if people can get on with getting their cards back and writing opinions,
so
in about
www.sterlingarmaments.com.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to that's really interesting. Actually, it's very rare actually that you get many companies asking for feedback from the people who are going to end up buying it.
We'll take the opinion of people and then we will push the button. But everything's drawn up, everything's ready to go. We've just got to modify the drawings to the changes, and then we make them. It'll be the first one of
It's sort of, I don't know why, but it's sort of quite reminiscent of my old Huntsman. It's sleek. And
we've all been around those, so it's going to be in our heads while we're doing it. But we wanted to go more that way and make it into more of a sporter. Short and light, that's what everybody wants.
I presume we're going to. You're not going to put a shroud on it.
We've spoke to Andrew Huggett. He's designing something, I hope, as we speak. We nearly had the Huggets in for the show, but they didn't quite make it. Unfortunately, we had somebody couldn't make the show, and he had the silencers. So we haven't caught up with him yet. There was a silencer assembly to go on it. We sleeved this one down just to make it look finished. We have some really good ideas on shrouded barrel for this as well. Quite different. Good. But again, it's got to be short. It's got to be light, and it's got to be quiet.
And pretty.
Well, that's
Keep it pretty, because
that's
a lovely looking rifle. And do you know what? Again, when I talk to customers about stuff, it's like they're quite reticent admitting that they like stuff that looks nice.
Yeah.
But it is quite an important. It's a very important feature, isn't it? We all like good looking guns. There's nothing bad about that. Yeah. That's actually really, really sweet. You did have another one at the show as well, didn't you? But I presume, have you brought that one?
No, that one's gone back to the factory to be worked on.
That's a backpack design. It fires.
Sorry, we had a takedown rifle.
That's
had a TR takedown rifle, which was around 120 foot-pound survivalist rifle. Fired at an arrow or a bolt.
US market.
US market only.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those things that's not £12.
Well, we've got US viewers, so maybe next time you come on the show, maybe you can bring that up and let all the, or in fact, actually, all the export guys have a look at that. That'd be really interesting. That is absolutely fabulous. And like I say, I'm obviously the wrong type of customer because I can't now sort of, I like them all. That's really impressive actually for a company to just and January.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? But I mean, the hours that they put in, it could have been 3 years. The amount of work that they've put in such a short time. But they know what they're doing, and of course it's all drawn up so that everything's been productionised as they've gone through. So we've just got to decide some changes to the breech block, some changes to the shroud assembly, minor tweaks to stock, trigger guard. We've got to do something with that trigger for sure. The safety capture has already been changed because that's going to be illuminator switch, but everything else is ready.
Great.
Yeah.
So basically, if you like the look of these, go along to your local dealer, I guess, and see what they're up to, whether they're going to be stocking them. There's obviously going to be a decent dealer network, I'm presuming, if people can get hold of the guns. That is, it sounds like everything's going to be on fair. Well, obviously limited edition. Or not limited edition. That's not going to be that.
I just
many,
don't think there'll be that many made. I mean, we don't know how popular it's going to be. I really hope it's going to be popular, but we'll be careful because it's going to be.
I think it might be a niche rifle, but I think there's going to be people that are going to just love that to bits.
The more experienced shooters at the show were being drawn towards that. That's what we noticed. The people who've been, for instance, the press, Jonas Mark Camocchio, Graham Allen, these people, they were just coming back 4 or 5 times to look at that. And also customers were coming back and looking at time and time again. And there's been a certain amount of buzz on the internet about that rifle. At the show, this was popular appeal. Most of the people who were just coming past looking, they were drawn to this.
Yeah.
This is what they were saying. And then you've got a collector's market who are looking at the Mark II. So we had 3 different types of people coming in looking at 3 different types of rifle and going off, not necessarily handling all 3. So it was quite interesting. And every segment had the opinion, this is the one, or that's the one, or that's the one. So you've got to do them all, haven't you? But we're expecting this to be the most popular seller.
I think it
and the sort of target price of this is under £900.
Well, I mean, obviously you've been on the show for nearly on every sort of episode now. So what I'd like to say to you is, when these are production ready, I'd like you to bring these back.
Absolutely.
And obviously we'll show people what's been done with them. We'll show the little mods. All sounds absolutely fantastic. It's really nice to have an injection of enthusiasm in the airgun market again. So look, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're not keen on what you see. Make some comments and everything. Let me know. Let us know what you think. Because obviously you can go to the sterlingarmaments.com website. Or if you don't want to do that, just leave a comment below and let me know what you think of these 3 very interesting rifles. And like I say, I don't normally gush, to be honest. I'm always really a bit of a miserable, critical or grump sometimes. But actually, I'm really glad you've come on and shown us this. So thank you very much, Tony. It's definitely been really interesting, and I've really appreciated coming on. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody for watching as usual. Hopefully next week we're going to be doing the new Faz rifle, which will be interesting, and also as well I might end up talking about one of my favourite all-time air pistols. So tune in. Hopefully next week, like I said, but you never know, it might be a couple of weeks off, but we'll get around to it sooner or later. Thank you very much for watching, and from myself and Tony, have a great day. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Cool. Yeah, like that. I don't know which one to buy. I'm itching to buy a new air rifle, to be honest with you. I think it's going to have to be the Mark II.
Yeah.
There's something about that rifle. I just think it's absolutely fabulous. But that's going to sell.
Yeah.
People are going to love that.
It's so small. They're picking up. They're going, wow.
Do you know what?
Take the scope off. It weighs nothing.
You can't get over on camera.
No,
It's like when I'm picking this up. The first time I picked it up, it feels like an empty kettle. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ! It's actually quite. Yeah. It's incredibly light. Yeah. They need to keep that stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely need to keep that. That's awesome. That really is. Well.
There we go.
Yeah. Let's go and have another room.
Well.
You're still filming again, aren't you? Yeah. Thought so. Right. Okay.